First of all, the movie looks amazing, incredibly stylish, incredibly funny, which I think is Guy Ritchie's, that's kind of his métier, right? He does stylish and wry and funny very well. Right off the bat, you can see Armie and Henry, your characters, are on opposite sides of the longest running conflict in the 20th century, the Cold War. So from the very beginning, you guys want to rip each other apart.
Yeah.
But you have to work together. So how is it forming this relationship, both as actors, kind of from a process perspective, and within the character who want to both kill each other and are forced to work together to do something good?
Well, I mean, Armie and I had no trouble working together. We certainly enjoyed a few drinks together as well.
Excellent.
On our off time. But to try and build that animosity, it wasn't so tough. It was all written in there. And Guy's a fantastic director. He knows exactly how to find that fine line between the coming to loggerheads and actually working together and making it funny at the same time.
Mm-hmm. How was that a process for you guys? How much comedy have you done? I mean, because even though this is a stylish kind of action thriller, Guy, he specializes in like hardcore kind of action, bloody comedy. That's what he does. Was that something that was new for either of you?
I mean, it was certainly new for me, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done it before, but Guy makes it pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the humor was really built in by Guy.
Right.
The absurdity of some of the situations, the way they had to deal with each other, the dynamics of how everybody related. So we basically just showed up and said the words on the great script.
Right, and just it played.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit more about this piece because it's a period piece. It's a new, Guy's done period before, but it's a new period for Guy. It's set in at some point in the 60s. Was there a year, when you got to set, did you say it's 64 or?
Was there a particular year? I don't...
64, 65.
It's the same year as Archer. Yeah.
Not as good as Archer.
No, God, it's amazing. It looks so great, so funny. What was it like for you guys? Was this a new period for you guys working in the 60s? And how did that feel both? I think, did that affect the way that the choices you made as characters? Also physically, you dress differently, you move differently.
I think, my parents were young in the late 60s, and I grew up always looking back at their pictures. I was kind of, always wanted to dress like them, and I think I always had a dream when I was a kid to kind of, I wish I was in the cool 60s. And now, we shot most of it in Rome and Italy, and they just closed off the Spanish Steps, Via del Corso. Everyone was in costume, hundreds of extras. It was pretty amazing to walk in there. It did a lot of the work itself, just to step into those sets.
I think the 60s and 70s is like they were golden eras for villains, so for me, being able to play a villain in the 60s was kind of great, like all the cliches that you can play with and the stereotypes, but the costumes were so fantastic and they sort of add such a level, and the hair, I think my hair weighed about 10 kilos. I hold it up.
Yeah,
that's 25 pounds, you guys, 25 pounds in America.
It's crazy, but it was, also I think accent-wise, we got to work with a different sound, and I got to work with that really sort of clipped BBC English kind of sound that was really fun to play with. And
right, and Armie, you got to do an accent.
Yeah.
And had you ever done a Russian accent before?
No, I hadn't. No.
How was that for you?
It was great. It really informed the character. It made it more fun to do, and it just made some of the stuff you say sound more badass.
Right. I always feel like it can be very intimidating to do an accent because you're always in your head thinking, God, if I just get one thing wrong, I'm going to fall out of this thing completely. Did you work for a while on it, or was it effortless?
No, it definitely wasn't effortless. We had a dialect coach on set, a great guy named Andrew Jack, who was there and helped us and all that. Doing the accent was one thing, but when they said, hey, come take a look at this scene, and you had to watch it again, it's just like, ugh, why did I say it like that?
Yeah, it plays beautifully. As you guys know, in a Hall H, this thing is so accelerated. I want to get right to an audience question. Do we have anybody lined up back there to ask the first question? Okay, here we are, right up here. Hey, Superman, you look awesome.
Thank you.
Nice t-shirt, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just borrowing it just for a little bit.
That's Superman's workout outfit, apparently. Okay.
When you guys were doing the fight scenes and rehearsing, who got hurt first in real life?
I don't think, neither of us got hurt. Basically, the scene was all set up to be this sort of very precise, cool, fighting through these toilet cubicles. And we messed it up on the first one. Just none of the walls broke. We just falling all over the floor, kicking each other in the face and stuff. And guys went, I love it. Keep it like that. Don't make it cool. And that's how we went.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think, again, doing a fight scene in a period piece, you're going to be fighting differently than, say, if you were doing a modern piece or if you were playing Superman, obviously because you wouldn't fight anybody, you just irate them. But, so was the fighting different? Did you feel like the way that you kind of choreographed these fights, and you guys fought too as well, like, did you feel like the way you choreographed it felt different than the way you might choreograph a modern film?
You know, it just felt, it felt organic. It wasn't like, there wasn't a stunt guy going, okay, now when you get hit, make sure you flip all the way over backwards and then you'll grab him on the floor. It was just like, you were two guys in the bathroom, fight it out, you know, and we just kind of.
As one does.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel. Another audience question. Arrow?
Hello.
I think.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think. This question goes up to everyone up in the panel. What was like the inspiration that drove you to connect with your characters and why?
Let's just start.
I'm
yeah.
evil at heart, so it wasn't a stretch, really. I just got to do what I want to do.
And I think, and Gabby is a very unconventional kind of, female character in one of those big franchise movies. She's very badass. You don't really know what her intentions are and what side she's on, and she's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Napoleon, he's just a typical mischievous rogue who you love to hate or you hate to love. And essentially with him, the key was make it fun. Don't take yourself too seriously, and don't be too cool either.
The funny thing about Illya is he has no sense of humor. It's all business. There's no pleasure. There's no fun. There's none of that. So I completely couldn't relate, but it was still fun to get to do his character.
Oh, those joyless Russians. Guys, we have to move on. Thank you so much. Guys, give a huge round of applause to the cast of The Man